Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Get Off My Lawn podcast, which is the best show that nobody is watching. My name is John Anderson. I will be your friendly host tonight, which is because it's my show and I'm always the host. That's how this works. But I still like to say that because it kind of makes me feel like I'm a cool flight attendant or something. Enjoy your flight tonight, and thank you for flying Air Sandhills. Okay, you know what? We're going to do this right away because I don't think anybody likes looking at me going full screen. So let's do this. We've got a very large and esteemed panel tonight. He travels in groups of one most of the time. He's a Capricorn. He likes long walks to the gun range, pina coladas, and getting caught in the rain. I don't know if any of that's true besides the walks to the range because it says so on the screen. But he is everybody's favorite tactical teacher. Travis, what's up, man?
You forgot the most important part. I put on an extra coat of beard oil this evening, so I look even more handsome than I normally do. So it's nice and, just slick and ready to go. So
the beard game is on point. For those of you who are listening to the podcast version of this and are not watching the video, let me just tell you that the beard game is on point for one of us, and it's not me.
Okay, gotcha.
I just have a beard, but yeah, Travis, you do it right.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I work on it for hours every day. It takes a long time to really get it just to look exactly how I like it. So,
and that's kind of what I do. I work on mine for sometimes minutes, sometimes.
Yeah. Me
Sometimes
too.
I do put a little oil into mine too.
A lot of people don't understand really what it takes to maintain this kind of a mane. It's really is a passion. It is a passion. So
it's got to be. You've got to be committed. I never realized I started growing the beard when I just didn't want to shave, and I had no idea that having the beard is just as much, if not more, upkeep than just shaving it off.
Yeah, because you got to get rid of the neck beard every morning, and you got to clean up the cheeks a little bit. Then you got to catch all the strays.
I don't, but yeah,
you got to keep it nice and clean.
I keep telling my wife I'm just going to grow the neck beard and shave everything down to about here, she keeps telling me that if I do, that I will be single again. So that's why you haven't seen the neck beard.
Probably a good idea to listen.
Anyway, this is not a neck beard chat. Let's.
You never know. Neck beard could be used improperly.
We're going to be serious tonight
because neck beard is a slur, so it could be used improperly as a hurtful word. So
neck beard's a slur.
It is actually, yeah. The neck beards. It's what they usually call Springfield XD owners or something. I think. I don't know. See, there you go. It's offensive right there. So
I got to do this real quick. Bear with me, kids. Okay. Now, I did double check, and huge announcement. You know how the last couple weeks I've been begging people to go over to Rumble and subscribe so we can go live. I don't know what happened, but overnight we went from, I think, 19 subs to we're all the way up to a whopping 34. We're cruising.
Good.
But we got the 25 we needed. So we are now live. I just checked. We're live on Rumble. And so if you are watching us on Rumble, welcome to the maiden voyage of the live stream. You can see some of the past episodes that do get brought over. I'm going to have to double check and see. This will probably show up twice on Rumble because it does import all the YouTube stuff as well. So we'll see what happens there. But for sure, very proud to now be able to go live as well over on Rumble, and hopefully this works out pretty well for us. So real quick, we'll let's go through and see who's out there in the chat, and then looks like we've got somebody else that has just popped into the green room that's waiting to join us too. So we've got Kingpin out there, G-Web's out there, Patriot in the Dark, 500 Magnum, Jeff Moeller, 2 Live Moo, 10X Shooters. All right. And I know there will be a few more that join us as we go along. And then real quick here, let's say hello to Joe as well. Joe Goebel is joining us. So this again, we've kind of got this whole Nebraska gang of usual suspects now that keeps coming on the show, and we're gonna have to just rename this into like the Nebraska guys chat or something.
I like that. I like that. I had to check and make sure, I look fabulous, right? Come on. We're woke.
Yeah,
We're woke
man.
now.
Speaking
Gorgeous,
of beard
maybe.
game.
Got to have your Nebraska cowboy hat. We have it's like we just kind of de-evolve as you go from like bottom to like, it's like the evolution of man here. You get young, old, and older. Of course, actually, I'm the oldest one here, I think, but still.
I don't know. I was born in 78. What year were you born?
77.
Yeah.
John's like
the old man.
84, right?
I'm the young, and I'm still a child of the 70s, but I'm younger than you guys.
Oh man.
So.
Well, at least I'm glad that works out. I even have a drink tonight. One of the guys that I am at school with right now. I'm out here for some continuing education for work, and he had one of them Crown Royal.
Oh, the colas.
Yeah.
Premix.
Like,
yeah.
I like those. He says, "Well, this is the peach one." He's like, "You want to try it?" And I says, "Yeah, I'll try it." So we're gonna try it tonight.
All right. Let me know
if it's fruity evening, John. I'll tell you what. I don't know what's going on. We're exploring our citrus side this evening. I was earlier, so yeah.
Yeah, Travis was doing some fruity things, and
mango cart.
There was a joke there that I couldn't. We weren't live yet. It was before we went live. I couldn't pass up the joke about Travis doing fruity things, but no, he is into the ladies for the record, ladies, and he's single.
Well, not now, not right. I mean, I'd like to be into. Whatever, try to put this the right way. But
hold on. Are you backtracking when I said that you don't actually do fruity things and that you are
no, like when you say like I'm into the ladies, it sounds like I'm some kind of a player or something. I'm not anymore. I've since given up that title.
The game,
not anymore.
Player.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, I'm just kind of a
not in
like
a
one lady
though,
kind of guy.
Now,
I'm just kind of like Marvin Gaye's greatest hits now is what I am. So yeah,
I have hurt anybody's feelings by saying fruity. I know that could be a slur. It's not meant to be a slur.
I like Fruity Pebbles. Fruit Loops are good.
Anyway, okay, so I'm going to dig myself a hole here and alienate maybe a few viewers, and hopefully that doesn't happen.
Look on the bright side, John. We carry just a little tiny military shovels, so you can't dig that fast. I think you're okay.
It's true. Actually, I do most of my digging with my K-bar. Whoa! Well, it's gone now. I'm not going to be able to retrieve that. I had the K-bar spork. That I was going to show. So GWeb says you can drink on a live, but his live of unboxing an airsoft gun was taken down moments after it ended, and he got a channel warning. It's not even a firearm. So,
that's crazy. I know they've got weird rules about BB guns and airsoft guns now. I don't know if they've changed it versus firearms.
Every time that they you get the rules figured out, then they change them on you too. So it's BS. That's why we're on Rumble, kids. Because Rumble doesn't do that to the videos, short of anything that's I believe pornographic or illegal. They don't come down on you for what you're doing. They figure that you ought to have a little bit of freedom. So pretty cool. Rumble is like the how do I say it? Like the cool parents that trust the kids to, they've taught them to make good decisions, and now they trust the kids to go out and apply what they've learned. So.
Everything that Nebraska is not.
Break the law, there's consequences, but yeah. So, all right. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things, and I originally was thinking, well, we could make this like a nomenclature 101 class, like for all the beginners and stuff. And I did in the video description mention that there's a lot of new gun owners, but you know what? There's a lot of seasoned firearm owners that sometimes I hear getting this stuff wrong too. And so there are some things that are flat. There is I want to say an absolute truth here. Like there is a distinct right and wrong. And some of it's all personal preference and generational too. So there's some nuance to what we're going to talk about tonight. But just as a general rule, what I don't like seeing is when somebody makes a comment or somebody's in a video and they're fairly new to the game. And by the game, I'm referring to either owning firearms or being online, advocating for their rights to own such firearms or carry such firearms, things like that. And they've never had somebody go through and explain the different nomenclature to them, and so they flat out just don't know any better. And then they get on a video make a TikTok or something like that, and they're talking about putting the clip in the handgun. Well, if you listen to rap music, you hear about clip a lot, right?
Clips and switches. Glock switches are very popular now. It's nice that our most popular esteemed rappers are telling kids how to convert their guns into machine guns.
And TV shows. I saw it on TV, so I know it's a major thing in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently,
Yep.
It's the thing that the Chicago PD are most concerned about, according to the TV show of the same name. And they get a lot of stuff wrong too. But we're not going to talk about fixing Hollywood because that's never going to happen. But I do see that the clip is one of the things, and so. All of a sudden,
what if you're married?
What if you're married?
What if you're married? See, I call it a magazine, and my wife always says I'm going to put the clip in my gun so we can go practice. And I say it's a magazine. And
is it M1 Garand? Because she could be right. Is it a stripper clip?
You know what? If she was shooting M1 Garand, I wouldn't care what she was calling it.
Yeah.
And I always look at her, I'm like, it's a magazine. And she just sticks her tongue out, and I'm like, pick your battles, fellas. Pick your battles. Right. So
now, here's the thing, though. It's one thing when, a prudent husband will just let his bride call it whatever she wants because the couch may not be as comfortable as the bed. So I understand that. But in all honesty, you see this online, and somebody calls it a clip, right? What's the next thing that happens? The comment section blows up. And there's so many keyboard warriors out there that all of a sudden need to come in and either gunsplain to them or just flat out tear them a new one. How could you possibly be so stupid as to call this the thing that generations of people grew up calling it? And there are still people alive today that learned in the military to call it that. But never mind that. You just must be the dumbest human being on the face of the planet for calling it that. And so this new person, what's going to happen? Well, you've completely turned them off to ever putting another video or making another comment. And they probably think that the gun owning community is just a bunch of jerks, and they don't want to be associated with that. So way to turn somebody off from exercising their rights. Now, we've lamented that before. What I want to do is I want to talk about some of the arbitrary terms like clip. You can say clip, you can say magazine, but there is a distinct difference that most of us agree upon, that a clip and a magazine aren't the same thing, right? And I don't have any visual aids here, and if I did, I'd probably get in trouble for using them anyway. But any of these terms that you're not sure about, write them down or go back through and listen again and Google them up if you need to. But for the most part, most of what people refer to as clips really are magazines, right? And what's the correct term? Detachable box magazine for the most part. And that's the thing that, you can take it out. If it's a handgun, it usually goes in the grip. You pop it out and you replace it with a fresh one, and it goes right back in there and back to bang, bang, bang. And so a clip, on the other hand, typically holds the ammo, and depending on what style it is, Travis had mentioned stripper clip, and that's something that it just kind of sits down into the top of the gun with the action open, and then you just take your thumb and just push the rounds down into the firearm. It strips them off of that clip, hence the name stripper clip. It's got nothing to do with any of Travis's weekend activities. And so
his fruity activities. I know. I'm looking. I'm seeing a trend here coming from Travis, but
I think
continue because this is working.
Is actually Fruity Pebbles. I think that's his stage name.
I do enjoy Fruity Pebbles. That's probably the best cereal. That's in the top 5.
Find most of his videos on his new website, onlyfeet.com. And
is that a real thing?
What?
Is that a real thing?
Didn't you start that?
No, not at all. No. Okay. I love bunions.com is what it is. So
okay, my bad. I knew you had like an
specific
IPO
market segment, but it's also very loyal to its fan base. So
it's a niche market.
It's all a marketing thing, John. It's really what
just trying to get a toehold in this thing, aren't you?
Absolutely. Oh, you know it. Absolutely. That's right.
Okay, so clip is definitely and the other thing with an M1 Garand, the clip actually full of the 8 rounds of ammo. You put the whole thing in through the top of the gun, and then it pops itself out when it's all done. So yeah, that's a clip, and a magazine is actually the container, I guess, the container for the ammo that goes into the gun, and it feeds right out of there, and then you have to manually pop that back out later. I don't know if there's a better way to explain it without getting into any more technical stuff, and I'm not as technical as maybe some would be. All right, so yeah, 500 Magnum says a clip would be a broom handle Mauser. Yes, those did feed off of stripper clips. So what are some of the other things that we hear all the time that get misused, whether it's by newbies or and a lot of the reason the newbies misuse these words is because it's media or social media or news, right? Hollywood. I mean, they misuse words a lot too. So what are some of the other words that you guys see and hear being misrepresented that'll just completely get a new person shredded for using it wrong online?
Assault rifle.
Okay. Assault rifle.
Assault rifle, because it's still just a semi-automatic. Rifles come in all sorts of different calibers.
Now hold on, because now again, very nuanced conversation. Do you mean assault weapon, or do you mean assault rifle?
Either or, but basically the one that I hear the most is an assault rifle is what they're associating it with, and it's a rifle. It's a semi-automatic rifle. Just because it looks a certain way. I mean, I've got semi-automatic rifles in a couple different calibers, but only one of them is ever called an assault rifle.
Now, I'm going to respectfully disagree with that. You're referring to the dreaded assault weapon that the news always talks about. And the assault rifle is an actual term. It has been used for decades now in military applications, and it is a shoulder-fired rifle that fires an intermediate cartridge, select fire or full automatic at least, and with a detachable magazine. And so an assault rifle can go full auto, but when they talk about an assault weapons ban and assault weapons, now they're talking about the AR-15 that is not capable of select fire. It can't do full auto. It can't do 3-round burst, and it's not. It's a non-military. It's not a military. That'll be one we bring up too, military style. But the AR-15 is not military style. So what they mean by assault weapon is, oh my gosh, it looks like those scary ones that the Army has, but they don't know any different. Again, it's flat ignorance, and I don't mean ignorance necessarily as an insult, but if the shoe fits, wear it. If you get butt hurt, that's because, again, the shoe fits, but it's flat ignorance.
So what's the assault part then? If it's just a rifle at that point, if it doesn't have any of those features, it's not in use by the military.
Because they're afraid that you might actually stage a full-on assault.
Oh my God!
With your quote-unquote assault weapon, you might use it to assault somebody.
But isn't the intention of every firearm to end some sort of life by its design? I'm just saying,
it is not. It needs to have that capability, but it's not the intention of any of my firearms outside my hunting rifles.
Might have assaulted a lot of steel plates out on the range.
Sure.
Now that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now I've got a defense rifle, not an assault rifle. I've got a defense rifle that I would use. Given the choice, that's the one I would pick to defend myself against an assault. But they don't want to ban defense rifles, even though it's the same rifle. But that's another one that, let's dig into this. The assault weapon that they talk about. What are the scary features that they're so worried about this AR-15 having that differentiate it from, say, a wooden stock SKS or
30-round clips, the high capacity, high capacity. There you go.
The 30 magazine clip. Yes. Okay. So I've got to get to
high capacity. I don't know who determines what high capacity is. It's always been the standard capacity,
All I did was make a statement. He wanted to get this thing kicked off, so I helped get it kicked off, and now I just got to sit back and watch John roll.
You know, the bayonet lug,
playing the
because
agent provocateur, I get it.
bayonets are used frequently in drive-by shooting. Bayonet lug is definitely the assault weapon feature.
Right, bayonet lug, having a collapsible stock, they don't want that on there.
Flash hider,
A
because there's
pistol
nothing.
Yes, a flash hider, because
You don't go blind.
They think that it means that you can't see the muzzle flash. They don't understand that the flash hider means that it helps the person using the rifle retain their sight picture, so they know exactly where they're aiming to be safe and responsible with it.
Also helps keep a high caliber rifle down so it doesn't come off a target so much
better
either.
Controllability, and it
Absolutely.
mitigates recoil. In it lets some of that gas go sideways instead of all causing the recoil to go straight back. Although with an AR-15 typically in 5.56, I mean, that's not a big issue, but
some of us don't have girly hands, John, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, we can handle them. So
there you go. Yes,
just wanted to point that out.
A forward grip,
right, Travis?
Absolutely, I've got very manly hands.
A forward grip is one that that they worry about.
Pistol grip,
right? A pistol grip. I mean, okay, and this is what was fun during the AWB years. The vertical foregrip was absolutely a no-no, but if you just angled it, then it was okay, right? If it was an angled foregrip, that was all right.
AFG.
It's the same thing now with an AR pistol, right? No vertical foregrip on an AR pistol, or it becomes any other weapon. But the angled foregrip, those are okay to use.
Technically, a vertical foregrip is a angled foregrip because it's at 90 degrees, and that is an angle. So,
I agree. But apparently the angle is less than 90 that they are talking about. Then it becomes angled.
But then again, we got to figure who's trying to make these rules up. I mean, I don't think brilliance is a strong point, or even just common language and mathematical skills.
Now hold off though. I mean, here's a little sidetrack that let's go down for a second. We hear that all the time, and we think that's the case, and then we discount them and we underestimate them. They know exactly what they're doing. Don't think for a second that they're dumb. They know exactly.
I know they're not dumb. They're not dumb, but they assume we all are dumb, and they want to play these stupid games.
If we assume that they're dumb, then we get lulled into a sense of complacency that doesn't belong, because we think, oh, they don't know anything. No, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not doing this stuff because they're stupid. They're doing this stuff because they think we are, or they think that the average John Q public is. And so, Gary's out there saying a lot of noobs think AR stands for assault rifle, and that's not true. That stands for Armalite Rifle, the company that first brought it to market. So yep, they're very, very true there too. What are the other parts of, we just lost Joe. He'll be back. What are the other parts of the assault rifle? Barrel shroud.
But bayonet lug, obviously that's one of the things that always has to go.
Barrel shroud was one though, because again, that's part of an AR, because it we call it a handguard. They call it a barrel shroud. But again, I don't know what they're afraid of. I guess they'd rather have you touch the hot barrel itself, because without the barrel shroud or the handguard, then that's what you have to do, is put your hand right on the barrel, and it gets really hot. And in lieu of that, they don't want you shooting the gun with two hands, apparently. So they think they would much rather have you just shoot it one-handed, and it's not near as accurate or safe. All of the things that are on that rifle that make it more shootable are done for accuracy sake, which is a safety and responsibility thing, not it makes it better to kill with thing. Because the prudent shooter strives for safety and responsibility above all else, right? And accuracy is part of responsible shooting. You owe it to yourself and everybody in the rest of the world to hit where you aim. So that's just part of it. So yeah, there's some stuff on that assault weapon, but I still maintain that assault rifle is a completely different thing, and that the militaries around the world have been using assault rifles for a little over 100 years now. And so an intermediate cartridge, select fire, detachable magazine. What would be the first assault rifle that Uncle Sam issued would probably be the Browning 1918, I would think, the BAR.
Oh, that's a good question, man.
I can't think of one before. That's why they brought it out, because the Army wanted something to advance from trench to trench across no man's land that was man portable and didn't have to be crew served. And so,
that sounds really interesting, because boy, I can't think of one before that, but I think Travis is over there clicking away. We'll find out.
No, I keep saying M16 for the US though.
Google foo.
But the BAR was out in World War II, right?
No, World War One. Well, just at the end of World War One.
World War One. Okay.
They brought it out for World War One, but I'm not sure if they actually got it to Europe in time. I don't remember the exact details there, but that was kind of the whole idea of that rifle.
Well, before that, they had the water cooled machine guns. They were somewhat portable, sort of.
That's
like
just
the Maximum stuff like that. Yeah.
You had to have a water tank. You had to have it was belt fed, so you had to have an ammo box, and it took two or three people to serve that, to haul it around and to serve it. Usually, the tripod was also a heavy chunk, so it was usually one guy on the rifle, one guy on the ammo, and one guy on the tripod. I believe is how those worked a lot of the time. Whereas the BAR was man portable, and so,
a lot more. But I mean, I don't know. I guess that's where you can kind of go, well, it still was man portable. It took a couple of men to do it, but I don't know if you want
they wanted a single rifleman to be able to advance across no man's land quickly and have basically be able to lay down his own cover fire as he went a little bit.
Right. Nope. I know what you're getting. I'm picking it up.
Yeah, now Gatling gun is completely not a machine gun. So totally different, and as of right now, those are not outlawed. I just saw an ad. Another sidetrack, guys. Tippmann Armory or Tippmann, whatever they are now, that put out the 9mm Gatling gun a few years back. They've got one coming out this year that looks like it is. It's 22 long rifle. It's got longer barrels than that little 9mm one, and it looks like it's belt fed with a canvas belt. From the magazine ad that I just saw. So I think it was Guns Magazine that came in the mail yesterday or the day before. So that looks pretty cool. Just got to say, kind of can't wait to see one of those. So assault rifle, assault weapon. That's another one that absolutely. Again, the reason that we're upset is because if people are going to assault us, we want the best tool to defend ourselves, and that is definitely going to be some sort of a rifle, honestly, in most cases, especially for like a home defense type of situation.
Another one to mention here, John, is the silencer versus suppressor. Now, although the original patent was called a silencer,
right? A silencer, so that's not a wrong term.
You try to push suppressor as common language,
I think. A bad rap just because of Hollywood. Because nobody in Hollywood has ever portrayed the sound of suppressed fire, I don't think, correctly.
Well, some military movies have done a good job, like combat films, and it's much more.
I haven't seen those. The movies that I've seen of any suppressed fire, it sounds like literally
nothing.
Like a
well, you can run some super low velocity, say like some 22 low velocity with a heavy
22 rimfire
suppressor on it, and it's not going to produce a lot of sound, and it's going to be almost like popping.
That may be one of the few exceptions where the cycling of the action may be actually louder than the report. But for anything that's actually, again, something that that was added to the NFA because they were so afraid that somebody might commit crimes, and the logic behind it is you can't hear where the shots are coming from, so the police don't know where to go. Which
in the large city is garbage, because they actually have listening devices just for firearm reports.
They do, but also in a large city, the way that sound bounces, it's almost impossible to localize anyway unless it's in the same block as you. And so, I mean, that's misleading anyway. How many people thought that the shots from Mandalay Bay were coming from a different direction because the reports were echoing all across that plaza, right? And so, I mean, that's a big thing there. They do reduce the sound. They don't make it silent. They just make it quieter, much like the muffler on a car. In fact, a lot of people have started calling them mufflers for their guns because it does make the exhaust quieter on your vehicle, but it's still audible, right? You can still hear it. It just quiets it down. And it's actually the guy that invented that for the car. Wasn't he the brother of there was Hiram and there was Hiram Percy, and it was either brothers or father and son. And one of them invented the one for the gun, and one of them invented the Maxim machine gun. But I believe that the same guy did patent the first muffler for a car as well, using the same kind of baffle technology. So that's where they came from, I believe. Or I know it was all in the same family.
Now, have you guys heard that they're talking about resubmitting the some legislation on a federal level, trying to declassify the suppressor?
The Hush Act?
Again, yeah.
Yeah, technically it never went away, right? It just didn't go anywhere in committee, but I think, they're going to try and do something with it.
That'd be great. I mean, when we actually are at the range, you're always worried about, especially little kids, stuff like that, trying to keep hearing protection on them. But another thing we don't think about too is if you have to use a firearm in defense of yourself or others in your home, as it is now, in that situation, with it being a little bit quieter, your ears wouldn't be ringing, especially if there's multiple people, you could hear where they're at, and am I going to try to stop and put earplugs in before I go to defend myself? I have to be very careful. Now, the last time I shot something and one of my earplugs wasn't quite in place, and so my left ear now has a tendency to ring once in a while, just for no reason, so
not fun at all. Now I sit here corrected. I just did a quick Google search of my own. It was not the Hush Act, it's the Shush Act. And that's an acronym for Silencers Help Us Save Hearing Act. So
which I absolutely agree with, and that's kind of what I was just stating is we wouldn't have to worry about younger kids at a gun range or even yourself.
With younger kids, I still maintain, especially if it's a center fire, still put the ear pro on them and help and get them used to the habit. Number one,
right.
And number two, I mean, it lowers the report down to less than 140 decibels. I think that's it's quieter than a jackhammer, pretty much. But even that sustained fire or a full day of shooting, it will damage hearing on a typical center fire suppressed firearm. So you still want to gun muff it up or get earplugs or whatever just to be safe. I mean, again, once you lose your hearing, you don't get it back. Those of us that have hearing loss or tinnitus or both wish that we didn't. So it's not anything to mess with.
But you just proved the whole point we were just talking about. Hollywood makes it sound like that they're absolutely silent, and like you just stated, it's supposed to help with hearing.
And it either sounds it sounds like a spit or it sounds like a little pew, and that's all you hear. And that's absolutely false.
And you just stated, and this has been mentioned before, that can prolong even at a quieter level. You can still sustain.
It's like running a lawnmower. You can mow the lawn without ear pro, but if you mow lawns for a living or all summer long without ear pro, you're probably going to have some hearing loss of some type, whether it's severe or not. Blitz says supers are still loud out of a suppressor. Yeah, I would imagine they would be. I've never fired a super, but that would be kind of cool. I don't know if he means like a 38 super or just supersonic, but
30 super carry, bro.
Yeah, 30 super carry maybe.
The greatest caliber of all time.
Yeah, he says 22 long rifles subsonic out of a bolt action does almost sound like nothing, and I could see where it would. Now again, here's another thing to think about is when it's an automatic, then some of the sound does come. I mean, a lot of the gas comes back out through the action, but the bolt action or any firearm where the action stays closed and doesn't open right up, then that's going to be the quietest, because then all of the report and all the gases and everything else go out through the front. And I don't know the exact physics of how suppressors work, but I do know that they work, and that's all that matters. And I also know that I wish I had one or 5.
I have somebody that I know who lives in Nebraska, likes to do what he does on, what's he call it, Sunday dump or something like that. But he's always posting. He'll go out on Sunday, and whatever he has, it's
Is that
full auto. Of
Sunday
course,
or is it Monday? I thought it was Mag Dump Mondays.
Gun Day Monday or something like that, or
yeah. Is that? And he all goes off his back porch, and that's a wonderful example. Like he goes out there with something that's full auto and has the suppressor on there. You're still hearing it.
Yep.
He's still wearing,
Yeah.
ear protection. So
Yep, I know who that is too. Yeah, if you're, I won't out him because it's not a public page, but if you're friends with the guy, then yeah, definitely. I think it's Mag Dump Monday that he does. I'm pretty sure on the full auto.
Well, you know how Facebook is anymore. The algorithms are so bad. It's like you have to go look for people at this point. So
You do.
when I finally see it, it's never on the day he does it. So
Gotcha.
you might be right. Maybe it is Monday.
All right, let's see. Let me mark some of these off that we've talked about. I've kind of got a list started here. We did that one. We did that one. Okay, let's go back to military style. They always say they hook these together.
Mil-spec?
No, not mil-spec.
Okay.
No. We're talking about what the news says now.
Okay.
Or what the anti-gun, the gun grabber politicians. They hook two of them together. They put military style in front of assault weapons. I just don't know why anybody would need to have military style assault weapons. Well, first of all, there's no such thing as an assault weapon. That is a made-up term that was made up to scare people and get the assault weapons ban passed back in '94. So it's
been a very effective.
It was not made up by industry professionals. It was made up by news organizations. I don't know who said it first, but somebody did, and then the rest of them ran with it. But military style. So again, the AR-15, not military style. It's semi-automatic. For those of you that are noobs, the difference between semi-automatic and fully automatic, and if you say automatic, it encompasses both. That doesn't count. So again, words matter. Semi-automatic means that you have to pull the trigger every time for each round. So when you pull the trigger back, it fires one round, and then you have to release the trigger and then pull the trigger again to fire the next round. Whereas fully automatic means that you can hold the trigger and the gun keeps firing until either you let off the trigger or it runs out of ammo, whichever comes first. And so, again, the assault rifles that we talked about, the select fire or full automatic, they can do that. But what the military doesn't issue in their M16s is a semi-automatic only version, and that's what the AR-15 is. And that's what civilians can buy without having to go through a whole bunch of extra paperwork and spend tens of thousands of dollars to get one. So the AR-15, again, not military style. And I've had this argument online with guys that thought they were being cute or whatever. I'm like, how many people that have been in combat would want an AR-15, a true semi-automatic rifle? And I get all these guys, oh, I would rather have my Daniel Defense than the piece of crap that Uncle Sam gave me and all that. Fine.
You mean the FN?
Right, yeah. But,
which costs just as much as the Daniel Defense if you buy the civilian version of it. So
right, yeah. But all in all, no. I said, okay, but how many of you want to get into a firefight and not be able to go to 3-round burst or full auto? Nope. Okay, there you go. So now, granted, it is prudent to be able to switch that over to single rounds, right, to semi-auto, and to conserve ammo and that kind of stuff. But the fact that the switch is available to go to those other modes, again, that's military style. What you just go into the gun store and buy and walk out with, not military style.
Hey, look at Patriot's question, though. He's got a good one for you. I want to hear your answer on this one.
Where's he at? Which one?
Just below Blitz there.
I actually posted that up on my Facebook page several years ago. And I said, name a firearm design that is not military style or wasn't at one point. And I never could think of one because every major firearm design, whether it's the action type, right, was designed typically as a military arm first, and then became adapted over into civilian life afterwards. Or it was done hand in hand, like Henry's Model 1860. That damn Yankee rifle that you can load on Sunday and shoot all week. That was originally put into the hands at the very end of the Civil War by the Union troops, or the hands of the Union troops, I mean. And so it got limited time in the Civil War just because it did come along so late. It was used, but not much. But yeah, the lever action. I mean, that was the first major successful lever action rifle. Right before that, the muzzle loaders, whether it be percussion cap or flintlock. Before that, matchlocks, wheel locks. Right. I mean, those were all military weapons at one point. The revolving pistol was, if you count the Texas Rangers, I mean, again, that was a quasi military outfit at the time. Pump action shotguns, semi-automatic, clearly. I mean, yeah, I can't think of anything that's a lot of words, Patriot, to say no. I can't think of any. I can't name one firearm that's not military style.
Desert Eagle is what 500 Magnum said.
What about it?
I don't know. Uses that not military style.
That uses buffer tube. Pretty sure that's military style.
Well, even the gas system is like an AR-15. It does use an actual piston system and stuff. So I don't know.
Uses twin buffers.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Okay.
So, yeah,
those guys. Those guys that went through the Civil War, I always thought they were kind of fortunate. Think about what they've seen in their lifetime. Seriously, they went from percussion, probably seen Grandpa's old flintlock, from when they were kids, through the Civil War, where we had more of the percussion style, and they were having still gatherings up until the 30s. So they seen our guns change. They seen automobiles, motorcycles, airplanes, and World War I. All in that same. I've always thought that was such a, from somebody who loves history, man. That just the whole dynamic that they got to witness must have been just mind blowing.
Well, as far as just technology in general. I mean, not only in firearms, but anybody who was born at the, in the year 1900. Saw more technological advances in their lifetime than the previous history of the world.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, technology just boomed in the 20th century, right? So yeah, I mean, and the world for the most part is better for it. Now, again, technology is always a two-way street, right?
Double-edged sword.
Right. But yeah, and by the 60s, I mean, we put a man on the moon, like UWeb says. So,
unless you're a flat earther, then that's
unless UWeb means that the moon was invented in the 20th century, it could have been. I guess I'm not entirely sure. I know it's made out of blue cheese. I just don't know when they shot it up there. So
right.
Okay, so anything else on military style? I mean, they talk about that all the time, but that is something that is not actually the case. The things that they're talking about banning are not military style. And if you want to buy a true military style rifle, you've got to do a lot of paperwork. You've got to spend a ton of money. If you're a civilian and you're not a dealer, then it can't have been made after, 1985. So that means there's a finite number of available full auto rifles that are available to civilians, because they've got to be 1985 or older. So it's not like they keep making them, right? I mean, that's obviously there's a limit. There's a hard number on that, which means the value goes from hundreds to thousands to tens of thousands or more, depending on what it is. So you can own full auto, but you've got to be able to afford to own full auto. It's very expensive.
Here's another one, John. The use of the word tactical. as a marketing ploy on the news whenever somebody commits a crime. I like tactical style. I mean,
Yep. Tactical vest.
Tactical's got a lot of definitions to it. We even had this discussion a Saturday or two ago talking about, tactical shotgun, right? What makes a shotgun tactical? Is it like designing it for one specific purpose or what,
Right. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, if we're going to go down that road, then there's no such thing as a firearm that's not tactical, because you can develop tactics for any of them, right? Even my deer hunting rifle is a tactical rifle in that arena. I mean, I have tactics for when I hunt deer, and I want the right equipment on my rifle. I want it all tacked out with a scope, depending on the caliber, a good recoil pad, and personal preference, I like a Tang safety. That's what I like, and detachable magazine.
Gizzard Gary's life card gun, that's a tactical deep carry assault handgun. I mean, really, it's one shot, but still it's tactical because it's got FDE colors on it you can get. So I make OD green, that makes it tactical,
Right, it must.
It's a marketing, it's ridiculous. Everything's like, I don't know, this is a tactical water bottle because it's all black. I mean, seriously,
it's got stickers on it.
It does. It's got stickers that makes it like all, even though it's nothing to do with Army, but still, it's.
It's a scary one.
I have a tactical foam koozie right here because it's all black and it's got a gun on it. So tactical. I got a tactical dog because he's low to the ground and features 4-paw drive.
I've got a tactical hunting koozie. This was one of the vendors out at the Deer and Game Expo.
I got a tactical iPhone because it has a Magpul, cover on the back of it. That makes it tactical. So. Even though I bought it so I could drop it numerous times and not break it. That's pretty much the reason why.
Tactical phone. Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. A tactical shaving case right here with
all of the anything with molly loops on it. We made it tactical.
Webbing.
We put molly webbing on it. You can attach other stuff to it now or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got, the tactical vests and stuff. And I'm kind of here's the thing is I like some of the tactical looking stuff depending on when and where I'm going to wear it. I'm mostly subscribed to the gray man theory. I don't want people to notice me. I'm hard to miss. I know I'm big, but at the same time, I don't want my clothing to scream, oh, here's a security guard, or here's a wannabe mall ninja, or this guy's ready
Armored
to go
car
to
driver,
right? I mean, something
Bouncer.
like that. Yeah, bouncer. Usually those guys are pretty easy to tell because they've got their head shaved and their t-shirts about 3 sizes too small. I do not wear my t-shirts 3 sizes too small.
Have a goatee and like an earbud in,
and I don't really even need to shave my head. The hair is falling out as it is. But yeah, that's a big one there. Tactical is now, I don't know. People don't really misuse it. It's just become a marketing ploy.
Yeah, everything's tactical, man.
Everything's tactical these days, but that's
high speed, low drag, just like me.
Yeah, when you're an operational operator operating on operational operator operations operation,
tier 1,
then
tier
you're going to need that
1.5
stuff. Yeah. I like what Ghost and Clover talk about being a tier 6 operator.
Here's the other one, John. It seems like every time I'm looking at a YouTube video, everybody featured as a Navy SEAL. Everybody's a Navy SEAL. How many Navy SEAls are there?
Joke.
Everybody's got a Navy SEAL, former Navy SEAL. It's like,
I saw this meme the other day. Again, I've seen it many, many times.
Everybody's a Navy SEAL, man. I mean, it's crazy.
Don't bust me on this first number because I don't really remember the exact number.
Yeah.
But it said something like in the Vietnam War there were 273 Navy SEALs. So far, I've met 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
So,
so we have 2,500 on active duty right now, is what it says. So 2,500 right now worldwide. Right now. So it's like, I wonder how many total. It's like everybody's a Navy SEAL,
Yeah, everybody's.
That's why I have my urban carry holster. Yeah,
a lot of the guys that really are or were SEALs, they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't advertise it unless they've opened up a training facility or something like that, and they're claiming their credentials, but. A lot of those guys, like, they don't talk about stuff much.
And once they start marketing protein shakes and stuff, then they come out.
What's the other thing that they always say that
First World Fight Club?
Every Navy SEAL, as soon as they get their DD-214, it comes with a book deal. It seems like every Navy SEAL is putting out a book, so that's what it seems like anyway. Oh, Patriot says the stickers aren't tactical. They just make your water bottle faster. That's what it is. So yeah, G-Web says May 1986, the Firearm Owners Protection Act, FOPA. Yeah, it did protect us as far as I guess traveling from state to state to state, but it did a lot of bad too with that. Okay, so let's talk about this one that we mentioned earlier with the quote unquote high capacity magazines. The people that would ban these things will tell you that a 30 round magazine is high capacity. And when you buy any AR-15 these days, no matter who's AR-15 style rifle, no matter who manufactures it, if it comes with a magazine and you live in a state that doesn't have, Nazi laws, then you get a 30 round magazine with that rifle. Usually it's a PMag these days for Magpul, but at any rate, you're going to get some sort of a 30 round magazine with that rifle, which is standard capacity for AR-15s is 30 rounds. Again, depending on what state you might live in, one of those ones that suck. But 30 rounds, not high capacity. That's standard. They want to outlaw the 30 rounds and up. They think, well, who needs 100 rounds? If you need 100 rounds to go hunt deer, well, if you need all 100 rounds to go hunt deer, then yeah, maybe you should work on some accuracy. But people with 100 round magazines aren't using them to hunt deer. I don't know every state law, but I know in my state, you can't hunt deer with more than 5 rounds in a magazine.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me rephrase this. You can't hunt deer with a magazine that holds more than 5 rounds on a semi-auto rifle in Nebraska. It's just against the law. So no matter what you've got at home, you can't take it hunting. And the 100 round drum mags, anybody that's got them will tell you that they are notorious for malfunctioning, for jamming up, things like that. And it's not what you use if your life depends on it. That's why people buy the PMags or the mil spec aluminum ones, right? I mean,
military style.
The military style. True military style is
true military style. Yes.
Right. But and I don't think you can't see them on my shelf over there. I've got a couple of those over there that are the aluminum, the metal magazines for an AR-15. They hold 30 rounds. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So that's what you use if you have to defend yourself. Your life depends on it. You want those magazines that are tried and true. You've run several run that magazine several cycles through it, so you know that it feeds correctly. All that kind of stuff. The spring's in good shape, right? Whatever. But that's what people do. The 50 and 100 round drum mags, those are plain and simple for if you've got a lot of money and you want to waste it in a short amount of time, then yeah, you can load that up with 50 rounds of 5.56 and not much time later, you've gone through all that money. So yeah, that's what they're for, plain and simple. But
you want to blow $100 in about 30 seconds, no problem.
Something like that, yeah. And that's all they're good for. Nobody that's serious is using those to commit crimes. And anybody that does load one of those up and thinks that they're going to go out and cause mayhem, again, it's because they believe what the people on the news say, that if you're a cold-blooded killer, you got to have stuff like that. Well, it's not true, but nobody that actually understands these rifles and has spent time shooting of any amount of time at all is going to pick that as what they use if they want reliability. Although a lot of these mass shootings or active shooter scenarios do end because the gun jams up on them too. They can't get it unjammed. So there's that. But yeah, high capacity, it's such a stupid thing. It's completely arbitrary. If you're going to start banning, put a limit on how many rounds can legally fit in a magazine and what's legal to possess, where do you draw that line? 30 is too many. Is 25 enough? Nope, that's too many. Okay, what about 20? Well, that's too many. 15, 10, 7. Eventually it gets down to single shot. I mean,
we know that's where they want to be at.
Ultimately where they want to go. Ultimately, they want to go down to none. But the last stop on that rail is single shot. You can only put one round in at a time. And it's funny how they want to take it all the way back to basically technology of, well, now 123 years ago or 150 years ago, back when the single shot rifles were very popular, the trapdoor or the sharps, the Remington rolling block, those designs that took a single round. But were we to get rid of everything that's been invented since then and go back to those, pretty soon they'd start saying, well, it's too powerful and we need to limit what you can put in them, and they'll never be happy. But it's truly 100% arbitrary. Let's pick a number and go with that and see if it stops people from being ugly to other people. Oh, nope, they're still trying to shoot each other. Let's lower the number. Oh, nope, that's not working either. Let's make it smaller. No, that's not. What do we do? Let's clutch our pearls and wring our hands and try to come up with the smallest number that we can think of. Nothing is going to work, because even if you ban the law-abiding people from possessing these, they're still out there in the world, and the bad guys are still going to have them. They won't give theirs up. So again, the logic just isn't there. I've got one more on my list that we could go through here. And then I would love to have a few other words from the audience out there, you guys that are watching, guys and gals that are out there in the live chat. So other words that get misused or are misnomers or things like that, or that people misname, I guess, could be another thing, like the clip versus magazine. But ghost gun is one that we haven't talked about yet tonight.
Yeah.
So we hear all about ghost guns and what could be scarier than a ghost gun, right? I mean, unless you've got a super collider on your back that throws out a proton stream or something like that, like the Ghostbusters. There's no such thing as a ghost gun. These things don't die and come back to life. Freddy Krueger's not walking around with a gun. So a ghost gun. Now, this is, again, it's kind of become a catch-all term. And simply put, it now means any gun that can't be traced by its serial number. So originally, ghost gun meant... there's another one. What's the new one that they're coming up with?
Oh no! Now what?
The home manufactured firearm, or what are they calling those? It's a 3D.
You mean what we've been doing for the last 400 years?
Right. Yeah.
300 years, whatever.
They have a TLA for it now, and I don't remember exactly what that is. Gee, hopefully you'll be able to set me straight. I know you know the whatever they're calling it, home manufactured or self-manufactured firearm or whatever it is now. Privately manufactured PMF, is that it? PMF. All right there in the comments. Privately manufactured firearm is the new nom de jour, which is French for name de jour.
But anyway, I'm looking. I was going to just tell you real quick on the ghost guns thing. The BradyUnited.org. It says, "What are ghost guns?" It says, "Ghost guns are unregulated firearms that anyone, including minors and prohibited purchasers, can buy and build without a background check." Now,
that right there is 100% bald-faced lie.
Unregulated. They are regulated. They're built to a spec so that you don't put a vertical foregrip on them, because they function. They're treated as a pistol or as a rifle.
But just say you could build. You could 3D print your own AR lower.
Yeah.
And put it all together in a normal build, and you could put the foregrip on it and everything else, and you'd be totally legal to do so. Okay,
but it's still regulated because you can't make it full auto legally,
because they are heavily regulated. If you have a firearm that you made yourself and it is not serialized, you can never sell that, give it away, transfer it in any way, shape, or form, except to the ATF. It's heavily regulated. It is the opposite of unregulated. It's the most regulated firearm that I can think of, because it absolutely cannot be given to anybody else.
Yeah.
You have to serialize it before somebody else can take possession of it. So, no, the fact that they're worried because, again, the misconception is having a serial number on a gun makes it to where you can trace it and know exactly who owns it, and watch every step of every sale that it's ever been through, whatever. Well, we don't have a firearm registry in this nation. I know some states do and some cities do, but that's illegal. Again, under that Firearm Owners Protection Act from 1986, that is, I believe, one of the provisions in that law, that they can never make a federal firearm registry because there's no way to enforce it. The only way that you can enforce it is to, excuse me, I take that back. You can't have that because every country that's ever done that, every regime that's ever had a firearm registry, later used it to go and take the guns away from the citizens. Every single one of them. There's never been one that didn't. And so,
didn't Canada just say something about pistols now too?
Yeah, they're working on it.
Yeah, and how are they going to know who has what?
That's where it's the universal background check can't be enforced without a registry. That I about got it wrong there. That's true. G-Webs makes great sense out there in the chat. Serial numbers and license plates on cars stopped all automobile crime. So if we just do the same on the guns, come on, man. Yeah, you're right, because putting a VIN on a car means that you can absolutely track those too, every sale, no matter who's ever owned it. And it's a little bit different. People always want to bring cars into the gun debate, and I don't understand why, because cars, owning them and driving them on public right of way is not part of the Constitution, but guns are.
It says you have the right to freely travel unmolested. It doesn't state how.
Exactly.
So right. Theoretically, you don't actually have to be licensed and have plates on your vehicle, because it didn't stipulate what it was, and they've actually fought that battle in court.
It doesn't say
won.
Vehicle.
That's right. It says you're allowed to freely travel. It doesn't stipulate. Vehicle. It doesn't stipulate how.
Constitution does say arms. It doesn't say vehicles. It does say arms.
Right.
Apples and oranges.
Oranges and apples.
Okay, good enough. So back to ghost guns. Now, here's where this gets misused entirely, because making your own gun has been legal since before this country was a country. That's how, back in those days, most of those people that first settled the Americas had to make their own guns. They had to be carpenters. They had to be shipwrights. A lot of them. They had to be blacksmiths or whitesmiths, tinsmiths. A lot of them had to be, they had to be a jack of all trades, really, to be able to live off the land, build a cabin, build weapons to hunt, to defend themselves, build furniture for their house, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they literally had to be capable of building almost anything. Later on, then, yes, there were a few people that made firearms by trade, and they were gunsmiths, and you could order one from them and commission them to build you one. But for the most part, people have been making homemade firearms longer than there's been the United States of America. And it intentionally was left out of the Constitution to regulate that whatsoever. Because this country's independence was fought by people who owned their own guns. A lot of them made their own guns. For sure, they cast their own lead shot, and a lot of them made their own gunpowder with with saltpeter and whatever else goes into black powder, some sulfur and whatever else. But I don't know the exact mixture, but that's okay. Some of you out there do, and that's cool. We won't put the formula up there on this live chat and get me struck down.
It's on Wikipedia anyway, if you want it.
Right? So, yes, yeah. You can get all that stuff. You can make your own gunpowder. So again, the founding fathers wanted to make sure that if we ever needed to fight for our independence again, that we wouldn't be hamstrung and disarmed in some way, because it was an armed populace that won us our freedom. If we'd only had the Continental Regulars armed, we would not have won the Revolutionary War. There wouldn't have been enough soldiers, enough powder, enough shot, enough muskets to go around. So thank goodness for the people that brought their own stuff and helped fight that war. So they wanted to make sure that never changed, is exactly why we have a Second Amendment. to begin with. So now here's what's happening is you see a lot, especially California. You see their ghost gun numbers, and they take, the number of ghost guns taken off the street. Well, they're lumping in any gun without a serial number. So if somebody has either filed it off or ground it off with a Dremel or something, or used acid to etch the serial number off of a firearm, then now that is also a quote unquote ghost gun. And when they talk about how many ghost guns that they're confiscating and taking off the streets, they're throwing those in as well. Well, if somebody steals a firearm from you, the first thing they want to do is get rid of that serial number so you can't prove it was the one that you lost, that was stolen from you, right? But ultimately, unlike what they show you on TV, having that serial number it's good enough that you could ask the manufacturer which FFL or which distributor it went to, and then which FFL it went to from there. And the FFL is going to have the 4473 of who bought it from there. But if it was given from family member to family member legally, then there wouldn't be a paper trail there. If it was a long gun, then again, most states, no paper trail. So the ghost gun thing, again, it's designed to scare the public into thinking that this is an issue that's not. Scare the public into thinking that something that's very good is very bad, and it's really not a big thing at all. And again, they always use these active shooters, these mass shootings, as justification for taking away the rights that we have to keep and bear arms. But show me one of those instances where the killer was actually using the firearm that they made themselves, or that they outside of gang activity. Show me one of those where they used a gun that they had actually filed off the serial number, because that may have happened, but I doubt it. And the homemade ones, I can almost guarantee not. So there's a good one. Michael Frost over there on the Facebook side has got a good one. Let's talk about this. The gun show loophole. Like, you can just throw cash at some unscrupulous redneck and leave with the latest kitty killer 5,000. I hate it when people get in their what about cycle with that. What about the gun show loophole? We need to close the gun show loophole. You can just go into a gun show and walk out of there with whatever you want, with no background check or anything like that. Again, the only people that say that have never been to a gun show. Plain and simple.
Now, real quick, though, John, devil's advocate here. There are private sales that happen at gun shows.
Yeah, and?
No, I'm just saying that you can go in and buy a long gun from somebody without any kind of a background check of the person you're buying it from is not.
Yeah, and it's got nothing to do with being at a gun show.
Well, no,
the term gun show loophole implies that gun shows have some sort of an amnesty of the typical firearm laws, and that's nothing could be farther from the truth.
But there are still basic laws that apply, whether you buy a private sale from somebody at a gun show that has a table or not. There's still laws. You still have to be able to buy the gun legally. But if you don't, you're technically breaking the law.
The thing is, the rules at the gun show are no different than if you just met somebody in the Walmart parking lot for an exchange there.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a loophole that is specific to gun shows. You can't go to a gun show and get anything that you can't get from the gun store. And if it's a private transaction, then the fact that it's at a gun show is incidental and has no bearing on the legality of it.
Yeah.
But I tell this story to a lot of people, anybody that'll listen. I've actually been at the gun show, and the guy next to me was looking at Travis's favorite gun. It was one of those Sky pistols that had, I think it was the orange frame, the bright, the pretty
like a silver slide, it doubles as like construction worker equipment.
No, I think it was a black slide.
Oh,
I think it had the black slide, but it had
better.
the orange.
That's better.
The orange frame on it, and he was looking at it, and he's like, "Okay, yep, I want this one. I'll buy this one." And so the dealer came over, and he's like, "Okay, cool. I just need your handgun purchase permit or your carry permit." The guy said, "My what? You've got your handgun purchase permit, right? Or you've got a concealed carry permit?" "No, I don't know what that is." He goes, "Okay, you're not going to buy this gun from me today." And he told him what he needed to do to go get the permit that he needed to come back and purchase that gun. He said, give me your name and number and I'll hold this one for you. And once you've got that permit, then you can come to my shop and you can buy this, but you're not taking it today. And that's how every dealer at every gun show is going to conduct their business, because they have to. Because right now, even without the ATF being on a tear like they are to shut down FFLs, and hopefully that gets a little.
The hearings coming up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, they're supposed to be bringing Dettelbach in for some questioning before Congress on that, because their zero tolerance policy for willful mistakes. Well, it's not willful if it was an honest clerical error. A number got juxtaposed or something like that. Especially, I mix numbers up all the time. I don't have bad dyslexia, but I'm pretty sure it's dyslexia, right? I mean, that's what it would be. So every now and then I'll flip 2 digits around in a number. And so if something like that happened on a 4473 and the ATF catches it right now, instantly that dealer loses their federal firearms license. They're pulling them, and they're putting people out of business left and right because of it. And if it's a willful error, that means that, yes, the document was falsified. Then absolutely pull that dealer's license, because they don't deserve to do business. But when it's an honest mistake, it was a number that got written down wrong or something like that, then again, and it's got to be hard to prove willful, right? That's like proving intent. I mean, it's very, very difficult to prove. So they're shutting people down because they can. Again, they're flexing muscles that they were never designed to flex.
And here they just put all those new changes on those 4473s this year too. So now these dealers had to learn the new language and some of the new sections.
Yes.
When I was at, I'm not kidding you, when I was at Sportsman's Warehouse, when I picked up my High Point 10 millimeter, like it was the guy that, I had the initial person that worked with me that I filled out the 4473. His manager came over and went over it. Then they called in a third person just to double and triple check to make sure that, nobody was off on anything. Because, they're like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that. I mean, it literally took like 45 minutes, like 3 people going over this thing over and over. And then they double checked it and verified I was like, my dad looked at me, he's like, does it normally take this long? I'm like, no. I said, it's usually about 20 minutes from start to finish. And that's usually it's on me typing it in on the screen, to do. This was all done on paper. So it was, well, you do it on a computer, but then after that, it prints off the paper and then the paperwork, and they got to verify and the serial number. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. It was almost an hour,
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But that's not considered an undue burden on the American people.
Oh, I mean, bearing in mind the fact that there were people waiting at the counter that wanted to get theirs, and they were waiting for their stuff to go through. There was 4 or 5 people that were buying firearms that morning when I was there, which was a Monday.
I mean,
of all things, I was there on a day off. They were packed.
Yeah.
Because nobody buys guns on a Monday. Nobody buys guns.
G-Web says the idea is to make it sound like if the swap meet loophole, let phone stores sell phones with no taxes or something. Now, again, private sales on phones, that they had to call that the Facebook marketplace loophole. I think you can do a private transfer of a cell phone with no without charging sales tax, but unfortunately, the retailers they've got to charge that sales tax because they're going to pay it to the government either way, so they just will collect it from the customer. G-Webs is, for those of you that don't know, I have a day job where I sell phones for a living. That's what I do.
I'm still stuck on the fact that he waited 45 minutes to buy a High Point.
Oh no, it was a JXP 10. It was the 10 millimeter. You can't get them anywhere, dude.
Dude,
I went from Lincoln to Grand Island to go get this thing because nobody has JXP 10s.
It's not like this was an impulse buy. Like he couldn't sleep the night before. It was like Christmas.
No, this is a 10 millimeter High Point. This is the coveted 10 millimeter High Point. Took one
sniff of that gun and almost peed himself.
Joe, it doubles as a cordless drill. Okay, I mean seriously, dude, the thing weighs as much as a freaking roofing hammer. I mean, it is.
You can actually hobble a horse with it. You can hitch a horse right to it. They can't go anywhere.
I had to be the first person on YouTube to get a clean
You
video
can tie a rope to
obviously.
It and throw it overboard, and the boat can't go anywhere. They're so multifunction. You can put one in a pillowcase, and you could kill a small dinosaur with one blow to the head.
Let me ask you this question, Joe. Who wouldn't want a 10 millimeter threaded with optics capability for under $200? It's like buying a $50 Porsche. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's something you have to have.
To understand, I just can't figure out the mystique of the 10 millimeter, guys.
It's the ultimate. It's got that. It goes to 11, John. 10 goes to 11. All right, that's all I can say. 10 goes to 11.
I don't know. You're gonna lose it. All I see all day long on Facebook are memes.
It loses a boat anchor. Weighs as much as a boat anchor.
Listen to this though.
Yeah.
There's meme after meme after meme on Facebook of people that lost their 10 millimeters. Like all these mechanics are always losing their 10 millimeters. So every socket set has every socket in it except the 10 millimeter. You're gonna lose your 10 millimeter.
That's because that's like the main one for most of your drain plugs. That's what it was on my Jeep Cherokee. Was a 10 millimeter.
Everybody loses the 10 millimeter, so that's gonna be the first one of all your collection. That's the first one that you're gonna lose, Travis.
No. He's gonna have to go out and buy a couple extra now just to have them.
This thing is like the size of a small appliance. You can't misplace it. You can't.
Michael wants you to paint it rattle can gold.
Oh. No. We're gonna do the Benjamin's Cerakote or whatever hydro dip on it. How about Muddy Girl pink camo? So there you go.
No, I think you need to do the tactical look.
It's already tactical, dude. It's got a scary. It's got a silencer adapter on the front. It's got a red dot plate on it. It's got 20 round mag.
It does not have the shoulder thing that goes up.
Not yet. I ain't got no switch on it yet. Well, high point switch. That's gonna be the new bit one. The high point switch. Dude, that's right. They already got them for blocks. Why waste your time with
a black market billionaire? Just saying. Just saying.
I was thinking about this for a second when we were talking vertical foregrip. Wouldn't it be sweet if we had an 89-degree angle foregrip? And it turns out there's actually a company that makes an 86-degree angle foregrip. It looks like a VFG, but it's 86 degrees if you do the math, and that's not vertical. That's just angled enough that now it does say in red letters you're using this at your own risk. You have to know your own law.
I'm curious. What if it's a horizontal foregrip and you don't mount it to the 6 o'clock position of the handguard, but
they were saying that your
like
VFG,
the 9 o'clock,
a collapsible true vertical foregrip that goes horizontal, you can't use that on SBRs, or you can't use it on a barrel less than 16 inches.
You'd have to SBR it because it has the capability of going vertical.
Yeah, but 86 degrees though, that's genius right there. So.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, what if you took that normal vertical foregrip and instead of installing it on the 6 o'clock position under the barrel, at the 9 o'clock position, so it's sideways, like a hammer drill, and you've got the horizontal foregrip. Those have never been outlawed that I can ever remember seeing. What is the definition? Did we just come up with our own Sandhills loophole?
Yeah. Somebody actually mentioned that earlier.
Still horizontal.
It's not vertical.
That's a horizontal. That's right.
Yeah. Let's make it at 89 degrees, and then the 89 degree what the hell would you call it? HFG,
the horizontal angle grid. The HAG.
The HAG.
Horizontal.
Put a HAG on my rifle. You got a HAG. You got Tacta-HAG.
Tactical HAG.
Tacta-HAG right there.
Michael says the 1911 may have won 2 world wars, but the High Point has won 1 million turf wars.
This is true. That's right.
Oh my gosh, we're devolving quickly.
I meant
this to be a serious thing.
Got to where it counts.
I absolutely 100%, kids. I meant this to be a serious thing tonight. I really did.
It is. You got to laugh at language.
We're having some serious fun now.
I have to give it to Travis. I always did want to buy a High Point. I always figured, if I couldn't hit nothing with it, at least I could smack somebody.
They're actually very, very accurate. My carbine is it's sub MOA at 25 yards with the crappy Tasco dot sight on. I shoot it way better than I do a pistol. No, they're very accurate. They're blowback style, so the barrel's mounted. So they're very. Be surprised, man.
Now my buddy had a carbine. I have to agree with you. That thing, it was wicked accurate. It was lightweight. Yeah. It actually wasn't bad at all. And then I seen the pistol, and I was like, if I wanted a brick.
Travis, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you going to go ahead and put the red dot on the High Point?
Oh, I'm going to put an EOTech on it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, once that's done, are we taking it deer hunting?
I can't because of the magazine capacity. It's going to be greater than 5 rounds. It's a.
There's got to be a way to.
Can we pin it? Can we put like a sheet metal screw up through the bottom of it, like a really long sheet metal screw to limit it to 5 rounds?
Well, because with a PMag, you can get those followers that limit it to a 30 round mag down to 10 or something.
Because of the energy level, you can't hunt. I don't know if we can hunt with the High Point. Maybe a 10 millimeter plus P round might have the energy.
10 millimeter meets the pistol requirements.
Okay,
because I think a 9 mil plus P actually barely make it?
It might. I'd have to know the muzzle energy of
so many foot-pounds.
9, but a
300
357
yards or something. I don't remember, but
a 357 in a typical 4-inch barrel will usually do it. So I'm sure the 10 millimeter will.
Deer hunting with the high point 10, baby. There you go.
I think that we should do it. I won't be able to go out this year in November because life is happening and stuff's going on in November that I've got to prioritize, and I've got to do stuff besides take time off for hunting. So probably January we'll go back up and do the antlerless season and see what we can do there. So I would love to take a deer with my tracker, with my 357 tracker, and it doesn't have a way to mount an optic to it, so I just have to get practiced up with my iron.
Oh, they'll make an optics cut next year at SHOT Show. You know that's going to happen. So yeah,
the tracker Toro.
Yep.
I mean, they did this year. They put out the 856 Toro.
Yeah.
So those are actually right now. Well, it's kind of a special deal that's not open to the public. Dude, I got to tell you about that here when we go off the air. Remind me to tell you what I'm seriously.
I'm looking up ammo specs right now. 10
My
millimeter.
wife's not in the room, but if she's still watching, if she didn't she's not feeling well, so she's not here. But if she's still awake and she sees this, then she may not like my idea. But I gotta say, this is something that's tempting me. Anyway, all right. So G's got to pop out of there. Thanks for hanging out, G. Do we have any other words, comments, phrases that we need to address tonight before we wrap up? We don't need to go super late tonight. I do want to know, and again, thank you all for those of you that are subbed over on Rumble. If you're not subbed on Rumble, you know what? We didn't do any announcements yet. If you haven't subbed on Rumble, go over there and do that. Rumble.com/user/Sandhills Media. I did away with my little thing to put it up on the screen. It's gone now. You guys pretty much know the drill. If you're watching live and you've never been here before, please put a comment out there so we know you're out there. Also, go check out the Self-Defense Radio Network. We've got this show and a whole bunch of other really great stuff over there at sdrn.us. The views and opinions expressed by each guy tonight are his own and don't reflect on the rest of us or our sponsor. Our sponsor, Sandhills Defense. Check us out. We've got our women's handgun and self-defense fundamentals classes scheduled for 2 cycles of those coming up through the spring and summer into the fall. And I think I've got 5 total concealed handgun permit classes scheduled for the year. 1 out in Ainsworth at the end of this month, and then 4 more spread out between May and October here in Norfolk. So hit me up, sandhillsdefense.com. Go check it out.
I was just talking to somebody right before I got on here that said he took his concealed carry with you, John.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, up in, I think he said north of Albion.
Well, it would have been north of Albion, quite a ways north of Albion. That's where the shooting was Neely.
That were, up in that area. Yeah, he's out here at this class too. So I told him
what's his first name? Can you say that? We won't out him, but
not offhand.
Okay. All right. If you tell me
honestly,
name,
there's 20 of us in a class, and we've been here for how long? And I'm like, I know what he looks like. He's about yay tall. He's in the other hotel room that way, about 4 rooms down.
Gotcha. Cool.
It's been a rough week. I have not got a lot of sleep this week. I'm telling you what. And we got our test tomorrow, and I'm going, oh, sweet baby Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap this up here and give you a chance to get some rest then, Joe. How about that?
Sounds great.
Real quick, we don't have the list because my beautiful producer is not in her producer's chair, but as I scroll through here, I can pretty well name everybody. And again, we want to thank you for watching out there on the YouTube. Well, on the Facebook side, I've only seen Michael out there. On the YouTube side, we had Kingpin, G-Webs, Patriot, 500 Magnum, Jeff Moeller, 2 Live Moo, 10X Shooters, Gizzard Gary out there, Travis out there and in here, Blitz out there. Some of these I'll probably end up saying twice because I didn't realize I said them. Vanessa Kitty's out there. Agorizer's out there. Chris Winsett says we're here. I don't know who we is, but well, it looks like in that picture there's actually two faces. So glad to have you along, Chris. I don't think I've seen you out there before. So where are you watching from? We want to know that too. You don't have to be like super exact if you just want to say the state or the city or whatever, county. The Armsmen listening as usual. We appreciate that. Yeah, thumb it up. If you're watching, please hit the thumbs up button. The like button or the thumbs up button, depending on where you're watching. Rumble. If you're watching on Rumble, hit that Rumble button. Give us the rumbles. Apparently those are worth something, and it just means that you liked it. Also, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do. If you haven't liked on Facebook, please do. If you haven't now subscribed on Rumble, please go do that as well. If you don't have a Rumble, you need a Rumble. Rumble's like Rumble's kind of like YouTube if YouTube didn't have stupid rules that said you can't do this, you can't do that. Pretty much as long as it's legal and it's not porn, they'll let it go. So Chris is coming from Tennessee. Glad to have you over there in the the volunteer state, is that right? Glad to have you along for the ride. We appreciate it. We're going to do this for the foreseeable future every Wednesday night. We've moved starting in March here. We're doing Wednesdays. I think we're going to keep it 8 o'clock Central Time, which is, of course, the only time zone that matters.
That's right.
Anybody who says otherwise probably lives in a different one. He's one of those Travites. I get it. No
Travites. The Travites, the followers of the Travi collective.
Travis is the king of the Travi. And
Travi. Instead of God Milk, it's got Travi.
Those of us that have pledged our fealty to him are the Travites.
Here, here.
All right.
Water, by the way, just for the record.
His tactical water.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tactical water bottle.
The high-speed, low-drag water bottle.
Absolutely. That's right.
Fast water.
Mm-hmm. Fast water. Well, for those that want to...
We should make a band and call it Fast Water. That sounds like a cool name. Tactical water.
Fast water. Tactical water. Tactical water to get you through those.
I'll run the cymbals.
You do look kind of like a monkey.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate that, buddy.
Listen, during the week, you don't do anything, but on the weekends, you're a warrior. So when you want to get through those 2-hour
that's our first album
classes, you need tactical water.
Our first album is Weekend Warriors.
That's right. $5 off Springfield Hellcat for every bottle.
Cool songs on it. Cool titles like Stovepipe Jam.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Stovepipe Blues.
Yep. Absolutely.
What's the other song?
Suppressed Feelings.
Our biggest hit so far was Damn It, Why Do I Keep Hitting Low Left?
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the story of my life right there. Shooting low and left.
Must be that 10 mil.
No, that's gonna be high to the right.
Oh, okay.
22, 30, whatever works, bro.
All right. So let's do this. We'll go out on a fun note with that. So Joe, any closing thoughts, things that you wanted to get said that you didn't get a chance to, and then any shameless plugs? I know you don't have a YouTube channel, but what's going on with the stuff that you're plugged into that people need to know about?
Well, so those of us in Nebraska, is really exciting. They actually have a senator's dinner coming up. We've finally got 30 of them signed on. So it's great to finally see that the people that we've asked to represent us can actually sit down in the same room, and it's really exciting. And then the NRA, ILA, and the NFOA have done a lot of groundwork and worked with Senator Brewer. LB 77 is looking really, really good. Speaking of the NFOA, if you haven't joined us yet, please feel free to. John, hopefully you've got a little deal down there, because I don't have my.
Do this.
Hey Joe, real quick, when's the select file? Is the select file vote coming up now? Select file debate coming up for the Unicam? What's for LB 77?
Tentatively, we heard it was about 3 weeks out.
Okay,
but if you get on Facebook, scheduled. Right? That's why I said tentatively.
Here's the other thing: the right.
What'll happen in the next 30 days? Hey, it's Nebraska. It's not for everyone.
We've got a bunch of big bills.
Even the ones here.
Right? We've got a bunch of big debates coming through here that they have to get through. So
right, absolutely.
We've got a fetal heartbeat bill. We've got don't
Which is
mutilate
Senator
children's
Albright.
bodies bill. We've got a voter ID bill.
Yep.
And then constitutional carry bill. So
well, thank God we got casinos out of the way, John.
I know, kidding.
Right.
So even though Norfolk can't have one because Columbus does.
Oh,
But Senator
Sorry, John.
Albright is actually doing the heartbeat bill, and that's LB 626. So those of us that definitely believe in trying to protect our children, that is a really good one. That's coming up.
Unborn. Yes,
absolutely. But speaking of the NFOA, yeah, if you would feel free to send us an email and become a member, and Travis, we will definitely let you know as soon as we know. That's why I said tentatively.
Yeah. So,
that's kind of what they're saying. It hasn't been scheduled,
we've
but
got
if
to
you
get all these things through, and yeah, that's when we know more, you'll know more. But it's not looking like it's going to be. I don't know where Guns and Gadgets gets his info, but when he put out that video, that update that said maybe by the end of next week it'll be through final reading, not in this universe.
Did you correct him in that video?
Well, no,
Was the
because
comment?
I don't think he reads his comments, and I don't even know if it.
Well, it's for other people out there. Say, hey, heads up, I'm from Nebraska. Here's the true story.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I've reached out.
Call him out. Maybe he'll respond for once.
Times in multiple ways to try to get a hold of Jared so that he actually could have a source that is part of Nebraska's only grassroots lobby group. And
absolutely.
Thus far, I mean, I've had people make intros in Facebook Messenger, like people that are people, not just me, right? And he's ghosted every attempt, no matter who has tried to set this up. So he clearly doesn't want to hear from the horse's mouth. My guess is he's hearing from GOA, and they don't have anybody in Lincoln. I mean, we will collaborate with them and work with them, but GOA doesn't have the inside track that NFOA does. So,
right.
And this is no secret. Sometimes we're privy to information we can't share at the time, right?
Nature of the beast, man.
But this is something that I can definitively say that we don't even have that inside baseball info yet. So there's no super secret squirrel stuff going on that we just can't tell you. It just flat out hasn't been scheduled. And as soon as it gets on the schedule, we will let everybody know, because that'll be another 4-hour filibuster before they can vote. And we expect that filibuster is going to go the distance. They took it 8 hours. They'll take it 4. And now here's the thing with that. We had 36 people that voted to pass it on. If they all stand strong, then there's nothing left to be said in the debate. Honestly, I don't know what it would be. The only thing that was maybe kind of an if was whether or not they would adopt that amendment that Brewer had put in that makes the police happy. And that was adopted with 34 votes, one more than was necessary. And then the bill passing on to the next round was adopted with passed with 36 votes, which are 3 more than necessary. 2 people who didn't vote on that amendment, they didn't vote against it, they just didn't vote. They did go ahead and vote for the bill, even with that amendment adopted. And so that's the only hurdle I could have foreseen. I mean, Joe, tell me if you see it differently, but the fact that they voted for the bill even with the amendment means that I don't think we lose anybody, but that's only if people in Nebraska keep their foot on the gas and keep in contact with these senators and make sure that they understand that we expect them to hold fast, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it looks like
pushing.
I think it's looking like a very good outcome if Nebraskans are willing to do their jobs and hold these senators accountable and keep encouraging them to stand strong and not change their votes later or not abstain from voting, right? So
if you're from Nebraska, there is about 3 or 4 different political groups in the state of Nebraska that do send out what we call a second house alert or a call to action. The NFOA does that. John a lot of times will put that together. But there's a few other outfits as well, and they have had more turnout, more comments online on the bills themselves, and more people in Washington this year. And the one good thing is we have quite a few, freshman senators, and so for their freshman year to have so many people actually showing up in the Capitol and testifying at these different bills for or against them, is really sending a strong message that this isn't business as usual anymore. People are alert, people are paying attention, and we're going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And another good thing is, I think last year or the year before, I'm not even real sure if a heartbeat bill would have got a lot of traction. And I believe that the LB77 really kind of set the pace this year. If we can keep the gas pedal on LB77, I think there's going to be some other bills that really need to be looked at. The heartbeat bill, we have tax bill. There's a couple of prison reform bills and mental health bills that are a little bit more nonpartisan. So it's really a good thing and wonderful that people are finally working together and really trying to do better for Nebraskans.
It's not unusual we don't have a partisan system. It's supposed to be nonpartisan, but the votes, for the most part, follow party lines. It's not unusual for the votes to be party line votes, but we're seeing so many people reach across the non-existent aisle this year, and
on good issues,
and we're seeing people who are voting their consciences, that are voting their constituencies, and I mean,
some of them are actually keeping their word.
Some of these senators who are opposing LB77 are still voting their constituencies. To their credit, it's not what I want. But you know what? If they are voting because they said that they've gotten contacted by more people that want them to oppose it than want them to support it, and they're supporting their constituents' wishes, then I get it, right? I respect it, at least. If that's why, and you're not just quoting misrepresented facts and bogus statistics, then I can respect that more than I can respect the stream of misinformation that's come up in the debate that's clearly designed to muddy the water. And the sad part is one of those people actually believes what she's saying. She's not doing it disingenuously. She's doing it because she thinks it's true.
Yeah.
She's misguided. But anyway, some good stuff coming up. So Joe, thanks for coming and hanging out.
Always fun, guys. I enjoy it.
Conversation. Travis, final thoughts from you? Shameless plugs.
I just will say this: if we're with somebody and they're new to firearms, don't discourage them or make fun of them or shame them if they're using the incorrect terms, because pop culture has such an influence over the language that people speak these days that if they don't know, it's our job to be good stewards of the craft of being firearms owners, to instruct them so that they know the proper terminology, right? So go from the clip to the magazine to the suppressor to the silencer, whatever. We get the idea. I think that's important. So that's been a fun discussion tonight. Just kind of laugh at some of these terms. We didn't even get to discuss yeet, which is fine. I mean, maybe we'll do yeet next week, but it's anyway.
I don't know. We might have to have a whole different show just for slang terms like yeet.
Yeah. Well, they said I looked earlier that 370 new words were added to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. They added sus and yeet and cringe. These are all now words in the dictionary. So, and the other one was, God, what was it? It said it's like, I don't know, something about the combination of like nerd and adorable. I've never even heard the word before. It's like, who uses this? But anyway, so yeah, Urban Dictionary is now becoming the real dictionary. That it's nerdorable or something, or I can't remember what it was. So anyway,
I guess if dad bods are coming into fashion as being,
there you go. Dad bod's going to be up there too. Dad shoes are going to happen pretty soon. So yeah,
I will never wear penny loafers.
No, never. Don't sell out.
No, dad shoes now are Crocs with headlights.
Oh, I thought they were Skechers. So I thought they were white Skechers or white Nikes, cross trainers. Those are dad shoes. Nice thick soles.
With socks up your knees.
As for me, shameless plug stuff. If you check out my channel, Travis B11, we've got Caliber Corner happening Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. We have an episode planned for Saturday. It'll be good. I've also put out a community link, so look for it for Thunder on the Prairie 2023. We did a live stream on what it's all about. So check my channel and you can watch what it's about. We also have a link to the merch. Thunder on the Prairie 2023 merch is out there. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much about it. So I'm staying busy. Just put a video out this morning on my Beretta A300 Patrol shotgun, and maybe the lack of QC on Beretta's part. They might want to improve that a little bit, on their shotguns in the future. But I'm just saying, getting that out there. Otherwise, I think that's it. So it's been a good show tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Got a lot of laughs, and it's been a great Wednesday. So thank you.
All right, if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, then you can see in the comment section, I just posted a YouTube link that is the Thunder on the Prairie video that Travis just alluded to. So that's up on both platforms.
I'm trying to answer all the questions on it. So yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to refresh this. Do I have any comments? Good, because I wasn't checking all night for Rumble.
You've been after Rumble for how long, and you weren't checking it?
Well, I forget that it doesn't put the comments up here in StreamYard like Facebook and YouTube do.
Well, and I'm stuck on a phone tonight.
At least we're there, so that's all that matters.
That's awesome.
So yeah, thanks for being here, Travis. We appreciate it. Final thoughts from me. Just please help this show grow. I keep saying it's the best show that nobody's watching, but in all honesty, I want it to be the best show that you and a lot of other people are watching. So give me the constructive criticism. Let me know if Wednesdays work better, if Thursdays were better and we need to go back to that. Let me know. I can't pick any other night of the week besides Wednesday or Thursday. They're the only two that are feasible. So don't hit me up with, well, it's really better on Sundays from 8:15 to 8:20 in the morning or something. That's, I get it, but honestly, let me know which conversations do you like better? Do you like it when we dive into difficult topics, or when we keep it light and fun, or when we completely it goes off the rails and we didn't talk about what we meant to at all? I mean, what do you guys prefer? Give me the feedback. You can make the comments, or you can also drop an email to sandhillsmediaempire@gmail.com and let me know over there. But let's see what's going on over there. So we've also got Gunmetal Guy USA joining us. Very cool. Thanks for popping in. So all right, on that note, we're gonna get out of here. So on behalf of Joe and Travis and all the usual suspects who couldn't make the show tonight on the panel at least, and my under the weather bride, Sandhills sweetheart, and the Liberty dog over there who decided to pass out on her mama's desk, even though she's not over there. And I think that's about it. God bless you. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. But it's time for you to get out of here. Get off my lawn.